Our inspirational talk for today is from a nutritionist by training with a bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of the Philippines Las Bañas and the University of Wisconsin Stout, respectively. She graduated at the top of her undergraduate and graduate classes, awarded cum laude, first place in the 1998 Nutritionist Dietitian's Licensure Examination, and outstanding MS student finalist. She joined the Institute of Human Nutrition and Food at UPLD, initially as a rice researcher and later as faculty member. Presently a doctoral candidate of anthropology at the University of Georgia, Athens, she is pursuing her life's passion, food and culture. She is an advocate of food and nutrition security and sustainable gastronomy, researching and promoting these through biocultural diversity, ethno-nutrition, taste, and memory. Currently, she is in the Philippines working on a dissertation that intends to describe the state of the art of the traditional fermented product, buru, and the impact of rice modernization and its continuity and change. Guys, please put your hands together virtually for soon to be Dr. Melanie Narciso.
Thank you so much, Miss Iris. It's nice to see you again, even just in a virtual platform. And just a quick sound check. Am I doing okay here? Can everybody hear me well? And video is coming out okay?
Yes po.
Yes,
Great. Thank you so much. So good morning, everyone. Good rainy day to everyone. Are you ready for something different? We are going to be sentimental this morning. And let's get started, should we? Let me begin by asking you this question. Are you sentimental? I would love to have audience participation. Please type in your answers in the chat box, please. Are you sentimental? Maybe some of you are still in denial, so let me help you by answering this. Try to answer these questions. Okay, you are sentimental. They say if you hoard old things. Tinatago nyo lahat ng mga bagay-bagay dahil may kahulugan ng bawat isa. Okay, I see a lot of sentimental people here just at the start. Okay, you keep this because it's just a napkin you got from a restaurant because it has memories in it. No, you went to the restaurant with your boyfriend, etc., etc. Okay, so you have a lot of memories. You remember them in a circle of friends, in your kwentuhan, biglang may maalala ka and somebody else would say, hindi ko na alam yon, no? And then, ang dali mong maapektuhan. You look at photos, you cry. They play songs, you cry. Everything brings back feelings. And you don't understand why others don't understand your sentimentality. And similarly, of course, the feeling is mutual. They don't understand you too. So, relate na ba? Yes na, sentimental. I'm seeing a lot. So, that is really good. That's a good sign, okay? Because what I am going to present on today is something that has to do with sentimentality. In fact, it is what I propose as the because we have been very rational in our approach in solving our problems. Maybe a little less than that would work at times or a lot of times. Let's see what you think, okay? And this is, of course, something I'm hoping to help with our better nutrition, specifically diet diversification. And of course, the best way to start with being sentimental is to remember our traditions. Let's start. Okay, inspired by the adobo craze recently, I would like you to answer which is the best adobo for you. Answers in the chat box, please. Kaninong adobo? Anong adobo? While waiting for responses from the audience, I would like to share mine, of course. Hindi ako huhuli dyan. I love the adobo that's made of pork, yung maraming taba, no? Tapos nun yung tuyo, and then tuyo na siya, and then malasa. But I have to have potatoes there. Kasi for me, potatoes are really very important. Okay, so I'm seeing Ilocos-style adobo, ano ba to? Marami, no? Chicken adobo, chicken with suka, etc. And then standardized adobo. All right. Thank you for your responses. Keep them coming. Okay. Okay. We know we love this adobo because they taste good, right? The flavors are there, the umami, and so on and so forth. But maybe there is something else that is at the bottom of it, no? You love a certain adobo. Minsan napapaiyak ka pa nga sa adobo mo, no? Or you become so comforted with it. Because at the end of the day, at the bottom of it, it is associated with something. And I see a lot of you mention some people. And for me, it reminds me of my dad, no? Because he's the one who's making the adobo at home. And then, of course, the comfort of home. No, so may hugot tayo each time na we like something really a lot, no? It is not just a rational decision. That's why we like it a lot. There are emotions. There are memories behind it. Now you kind of know where I'm heading to, right? Now, food has sentimental value, and we cannot deny that. Okay, we had the adobo conversation earlier. Let's talk more about other things. No? I know you feel it. You know there is sentimental value of a lot of things for you. But let me just articulate what exactly it is. It is the value of something because of personal or emotional associations rather than material worth. We don't buy or we don't keep something just because of the nutrients, just because it's cheap, but because there is something more. And in our case, as we're talking about it, it's memories. Let me share one of mine, and you can keep on sharing what is of sentimental value to you, what foods are of sentimental value. You see in the pictures tapayan and the that is made from it. This is a picture. These are pictures from Baliti, San Fernando, Pampanga. This is where my grandmother is from, and I grew up with this vinegar. And you know what? This is a very important vinegar for me, no? It is priceless. Why? Of course, I grew up with it. I have a lot of stories about this. And the most important story being, it's quite juicy. My mom and dad met because of this vinegar. So a love story was born out of this, and that's why you have me right now. It started a little sour. Okay, you have more of these stories. Please type them in the chat box. What food has sentimental value for you, okay? Keep those coming. But let me continue, okay? Just to show or prove the point of our sentimentality, and it is expressed through food. It doesn't have to be just the special food items, no? It can be, okay, it can be special, yet, we always have it all the time, or the ordinary stuff. For example, birthdays, fiestas, Christmas. What do we have? We always have birthday cakes, lechon, spaghetti with the hamon and the queso de bola fruit salad for Christmas. Okay, so without this, it's not normal. It feels empty, malungkot, hindi po ba? No? Kulang. And why is that? Is it because it's nutritious? Maybe not, right? Think about it. Now, look at these other examples. Rice. Okay, if you go to other countries, if you go to other places, you keep on, like, you've been feasting on fast food, you eat just spaghetti, cheeseburger, everything heavy. But at the end of it all, you are so hungry. Bakit ka gutom? Di ba ikaw naman ay kumain ng napakadami? Well, you know the reason. You got used to rice. It's laden with memories that it is the one that will satisfy you. Di ba? Lugaw, it has become the essential food for this pandemic period. Bakit? No? Iniisip ko, no? Help me with this one, no? Maybe you have a better explanation. Di ba ang lugaw yung sinaserve sa atin kapag may sakit ka, and then normally it's your mother, grandmother who takes care of you, and lugaw becomes comforting, no? Or in a rainy day like this here, at least in our place, ang sarap paglugaw, no? Yung mainit, it's so soothing, okay? And I'm seeing a lot more other comfort foods mentioned in the chat box, no? Binignit, lugaw with tokwa, kaldereta ni mami, no? Kadalasan may kasamang tao yan, no? O kaya lugar. No, sometimes you go to a place and then, di ba, bumibili ka ng pasalubong minsan para sa sarili mo lang din, no? Because it just tastes better, no, when you experience it there. So you bring it with you to your family, okay? Or you want to relive the experience. So, we're sentimental, right? We cannot deny that. Why? Why are we sentimental? Okay, think about it this way. You, as a person, have your memories. Diba? May mga alaala ka. Marami nga dyan pang maalaala mo kaya. And then we have food. The more connection you have of food, no? Lagi mong kasama, tinitikman-tikman mo, sinesavor mo, you cook it, you spend so much time with it, you know it. May mga memories na nagiging part mo na galing sa food, di ba? Okay, food undeniably becomes part of you. You eat it. It's the most intimate thing that we ever have, no? Most intimate relationship. But food memories get to us. And similarly, let's not forget, whatever we have in our memories would also go or get into the food. Diba? In anthropological terms, there are theories that we could draw from called interanimation, where the landscape that we have outside becomes part of us and part of us becomes part of the landscape. I can tell you more about that later on, but let's just focus on this connection at the moment. Meron lang sentimental value pagka may connection. Okay. I hope I made that clear. And as time goes by, if you get closer to your food, more connection, you and the food become one. And that is why we have sentimental value, at least from an anthropological perspective. Now, because food evokes a lot, no? May memories yung food, no? Mag-isip ka lang ng mangga, magdudrool ka na, no? Magsasalivate ka na. Pakitaan lang kita ng durian or kape, maisip mo yung friends mo, and so on and so forth. Okay. So food has memories. What do they do to us? We use them, no? For example, no? In my case, I have stayed in the US for quite some time, and Christmases are quite disorienting for me, no? Sa US, feeling ko hindi Pasko pag Pasko. It's different, no? So for me to feel comfortable, for me to feel it's Christmas, I have to have something that is from the Philippines. And in my case, it is the ensaymada. So me and my mom made ensaymada one time in Florida. And that really made a lot of difference. Okay, and then I have a lot of friends, international friends, that I really miss a lot. And, you know, of course, the best thing that happens when you have friends, you eat a lot, right? And we were able to have a lot of potlucks. And so I miss those. So what I do sometimes is I cook the dishes that they made before para maramdaman ko sila. Ginagawa niyo din ba yun? Relate ba kayo? No? Kapag nawala na yung isang tao, pababalikin mo siya through food. No? You eat pansit because it's his favorite, and so on and so forth. Okay, but there is something else that the sentimental value of food can do. Okay. Yeah, thank you for your responses, no? Okay. Am I still online? Because I'm seeing a sign that Pan has left or what? Am I still okay? Am I still online? Hello?
Yes po.
Okay, sorry. Okay, all right. Okay, let's continue. What does the sentimental value of food bring to us? It makes the food taste better. Okay, because for example, look at these pictures on the screen. These are fruits from my grandma's backyard. You would find this in the palengke. But I would not say the price is the same, the value is the same. because it's different, no? Mas makikipag-away ako para sa mga prutas na to because they are laden with memories, no? They're from the trees that I have climbed and they're from my lola. Sabi nga nila, no, you may have heard this before. Masarap pagbigay. Di ba? Relate ba? Okay. Another thing. What else does our sentimental value of food bring to us? We tend to savor it. I told you about my vinegar story. Unfortunately, not a lot of people make it anymore. Also because nawawala na yung sugar cane sa amin. No, only 2 or 3 farmers are planting it and ours is endangered. So I'm savoring each drop of the vinegar. No, maiyak-iyak pa nga ako minsan eh. But that is serious, no? Especially when I was in the US. Okay, another thing. If food has sentimental value, we secure it. Another vinegar story. An aunt who's actually listening to me right now, she told me about this customer. She bought vinegar from her. And nilalock nila yung vinegar nila sa isang cabinet. No? Why? Filipinos, we have extended families. No? We have everybody coming into our houses. Welcome lahat, pati sa hapagkainan. And so, pati pagkain, no, accessible. So, she has to keep it because she values it so much. Just like the picture that you see here. This is Milagrosa. I heard from a participant of one study in Apalit, Pampanga, na pati yung Milagrosa ng tita niya, tinatago nila lock because it is special. And for your information, if you are not familiar with Milagrosa anymore, no, this is a popular rice variety in Luzon, I think, or maybe in other places too. And this is a very old rice variety, no? The oldest record I've seen of it is in 1895. And, well, unfortunately, we are losing it, or if baka lost na talaga, no? I tried to find this. I couldn't find it anymore, at least where I was. Now, what else does food sentimental value does? It makes the food taste better, savor it, secure, and you continue making it. Here is calamansi, making or eating it at least. Here is calamansi from the plant that my father raised in his backyard in Florida. This is the first bunga, no? Kodak moment, sinend pa sa amin through Messenger. They actually like calamansi a lot because it also makes them comfortable. It makes their nilaga because yun ang sausawan, no? Yung lutong, yung may toyo, no? It makes it that, no? Lime won't work. Okay? So, what are these things that I'm talking about? Don't they sound like a possible solution for something? Like conservation. Dr. Virginia Nazarea, a biological anthropologist, or rather, cultural anthropologist, in her books, tried to make an argument for the use of memories for conservation. Because kadalasan, di ba, dahil nawawala na yung ating mga resources, people resort to listing these resources that we are losing through inventories, no? Research dito, research doon, or tago dito sa seed bank na to, tago doon. Which are not so bad, no? We are not disputing any innovative ways or bigger deliberate programs. However, the thing is, what if we can do things organically, naturally? Baka naman pala pwedeng madaan sa mas pangmasa, no? Yung aandar siyang mag-isa, organic. No, so she calls the deliberate programs of conservation with a big C. Pero pwede rin naman conservation with a small c, yung organic. And I would like to adapt that thinking for nutrition. We have big problems. Ang dami, hindi na natapos. We have big programs, and which is good, no? But we need help. We need help from a lot of people. And maybe, just like how culture spread or change, evolve through time, umandar naman ng marami dyan without intervention. Why can't we just do it that way now, right? Okay. So, instead of having nutrition with a big N, with all these deliberate big programs, we can also have nutrition with a small n. Something that will be more organically cultivated. Okay. Are you still with me? Okay ba? Okay. we have big problems. One of which is diet simplification. Our diets have become less complex, more calorie heavy, no? Which is of course problematic. It affects our health. Sabi nga natin, di ba, ayaw natin na iisa lang o kuunti lang variety ng food kinakain natin because we cannot draw all our nutrients from food. And then also, no, some foods would have the anti-nutrients or pesticide, chemical, whatever that is not good, no? Kung yun at yun ang kinakain mo lagi, not good. Okay. Problem is, we have this loss of variety because, of course, of many reasons. But then I would like to point out the loss of our biological and cultural diversity, which are basically traditions. Bakit sila tradition? Because we pass them on from generation to generation. They've been tried and tested. Okay? Hindi naman yan ipapasa kung di nila natutunan yan gamitin. Okay? So, but they are being eroded, no? A lot of times they say it's capitalism, it's technology, even education, no? So, these are things we have to work on. We have a lot of programs already on this, but maybe this could help being sentimental, no? What are we trying to protect here? For example, when we logical diversity, we're talking about this. For example, rice varieties, no? Meron tayong species, meron tayong rice varieties. Marami tayong ganyan, hundreds, no? We don't have an exact count. I think Dr. Marisa Romero is here and she knows better on this topic how many we have. But I know it's more of an estimate because we don't really have much of this inventories being done. Okay, so nawawala na yung mga yan, no? For example, in my field site, no? As early as the late 70s, nawala na yung mga rice varieties ng traditional because the modern rices came in. Okay, not that modern rices totally are bad, but it has become monocultures and so nawala. Anong kasamang nawala doon? Example, duman. Are you familiar with duman? It is a popular rice, kind of like pinipig from Pampanga. No, it's very expensive because konti lang ang napoproduce niyan. Okay? Now, duman from Santa Rita at least comes from Lakatan Maluto. Unfortunately, Lakatan Maluto is also being left behind in terms of cultivation because of the modern varieties that we have, no? Kasi mas attractive sila because of profit and the fast yield. No, ito kasi matagal, no? Okay. Now, affected yung ating yung food culture natin. And one thing more that I really dislike, no? Okay, nawawala na yung duman. Okay, I'm glad somebody from the audience knows this. Nawawala na yung duman. But there are some imposters. There are fakeries happening. And this is not just for duman. My cousin brought this from a store or a banqueta somewhere, the picture on the right side. Does it look similar to the one on the left? No. Does it smell like it? No. Okay, the one on the right has so much of the vanilla flavor, which is not exactly what duman is, no? And pumapasa na ito yung duman. People buy it. This is like just a small amount and mga 100 pesos, no? So this becomes our standard, no? Which is not right. Okay, so I'm trying to point out here the biodiversity that we have, marami pero nawawala. And we're not just talking about our species, varieties, but let's talk about ecology as well. Okay, for example, rice again. Okay, it's not just showing so well, okay, but rice, di ba, it's an ecosystem. May mga fish yan sa baba because it's irrigated, no? And then may insects pa. But what is happening because of all the pesticides, of all the chemicals that we apply, nawala na. For example, yung insects, like this kamaru that my dad is enjoying. He came from the US, and then ito yung isa sa mga hinanap niya. Okay? Again, being sentimental, right? And we are losing a lot of this. Some restaurants, or one restaurant that I know has to find this from another province because wala na sa Pampanga, no? Which is very sad. So we are seeing here the problem of biological diversity affecting our cultural diversity. Nawawala na yung mga culinary traditions natin. But sometimes it starts with the loss of cultural diversity kasi nawala na yung mga instruments, tools like this batirol on your right and then yung gilingan sa left, no? Some people really are fans of this, no? Hindi pwedeng maging batirol yan kung wala yung batirol na yan, no? So we're losing all these things. And of course, the knowledge, the skills, no? On the left is a farmer and his wife. I've been consulting him in my field site. They know things that we do not know. And the unfortunate thing is we look down on them. Unfortunately, no? Meron silang alam na hindi natin alam. Okay, and I can speak more about it, but let's stop there. Okay, skills. Do we know how to ferment? No, itong nakikita natin on the right side, it's the pagbuburo, no, the Candaba style of pagbuburo. Fermentation has been a hit, no? Pero tayo ba, are we going back to our buro traditions? Marami dun sa field site ko, hindi. Because nag-aral na sila and they're done with it, no? Pag nag-aral, tapos na there is something that we have to review in terms of our educational system because we forget our traditions. Okay, so I pointed out that we do have a problem. But I am proposing here, okay, that we have a possible solution. Earlier, if you remember that slide about that person with the memory and the food, if they have a connection, they would be one. We would be laden with all these memories. We will have all this sentimental value. Food will have sentimental value. If we are losing a lot of this biocultural resources, probably we have to ask ourselves, maybe we don't have much attachment to them. It is not our objective to be purist, no. We don't want to stop innovation. Innovations are good because traditions grew up from innovations. Hindi naman yan static, no. Hindi naman kung ano yung kinakain natin ngayon, yun na yun. For example, rice, no, isa sa mga studies na sinasabi ngayon, it was not with us for a long time. I mean, it's not there as long as we thought it is there na kinakain natin. Okay, we could talk more about that later on, but you get my point, okay? So, nawawala kasi we are not so attached to them. And the point is we need diversity. Diversity by collecting. And then, anyway, we select, but it's nice if we have all this because it makes us more resilient. Kapag may problema, may pandemic, saan ka huhugot ng solusyon? Only in the things that you have around you. Only if you know how to use them. Okay. My suggestions. We have to reattach ourselves to food. We have to have a food reconnection. We have to have opportunities for interaction with the local knowledge experts. Maybe it will be harder to find them these days, but let's not forget our elders. Biological, cultural resources, that is something that we, or even the younger generation, should interact with. Okay? Kasi ito yung tinatawag nilang attunement, no, or education of attention. Nandyan sila pero hindi natin sila napapansin. We have to bring our focus to these things. No, marami naman Okay? Now, how do we reconnect people? How do we reconnect ourselves? Pwedeng sigurong food tours sa garden, may garden kitchen tours. Sa mga, we have people who are keepers of certain traditions. Let us involve them. Let me share with you what I did with my bubble. No, this is my family during the pandemic. No, I am so into chocolate batirol, which is what you see on the left. No, it's the picture on the left. It's chocolate drink made of cacao that you grind, and then yun, no, parang tableya sa iba, no, but as we use the paste instead, and then we add milk, cook it, and then froth it. Now, okay, yung mga bata sa amin, hindi yan gusto, no? Parang, ang sakit-sakit, no? Hindi nila gusto, ito yung kinalakihan ko, ginagawa pa ng lola ko, sa mga nanay ko, sila, wala. They like the sugary chocolate drinks. I won't say brands anymore. You know this very well. Okay, so anong ginawa ko, I've made them taste, of course, chocolate batirol. That didn't work, of course. Ayaw nila. What I did is I involved them. And chocolate is a great entry point, no? I mean, it's great because who doesn't like chocolate? Konti lang, no? So I involved them from the roasting of the cacao beans to the peeling, no, shelling of the beans to the winnowing, no, yung paggaganyan, yung nakikita niyo sa picture, which is kind of hard, no? It's really hard, I would admit. And then And of course, up to the cooking of the chocolate. Okay, did it help? Somehow it did, no? But here's the thing, we need a repeated connection, repeated reconnection. Hindi pwedeng isa lang. Remember, there are a lot of things that we are doing in our field. No? We try to bring up awareness to people, but we forget, we have to remember, there should be mnemonics or things that would help us remember. So we need repeated connection. So I did this twice, okay, for 2 Christmases. Okay, and what happened, no? Masaya na sila actually. They were enjoying, and you see the picture of my pamangkin there, no? Enjoying her chocolate already. They clamor for it na even if it's out of season, they want to have it. Kawawa lang si tita kasi medyo mahal, no? But it kind of works, no? It does work. Okay, it's not moving. The slide is not moving. Hold on. There. Okay, and I didn't stop there. Because I also wanted to make them understand that we have to appreciate our different varieties of crops. Like cacao, maraming varieties niyan, no? So what I also did is we went ahead doing a tasting session, parang sensory evaluation. I presented to them chocolates of different kinds with different levels of sugar from different places, and of course, against the cacao bean. Nakita nila na ang layo na pala ng lasa ng kanilang chocolate dun sa cacao bean. And that helped them appreciate dark chocolate more. And diba, dark chocolate, I mean, if there's something we would recommend people eating, it is dark chocolate, isn't it? Okay? Of course, hindi man sa bawal yung iba, but we know it's a lot of sugar. So, ladies and gentlemen, it works. I've seen it work. It just needs to be cultivated. It needs time. It needs effort. The thing is, are you willing to do that? No, and it is a re-engineering of our values that would make it work. And of course, other things to do: facilitate material continuity. Nandyan ba yung material? No, yung nandyan ba yung cacao? Nandyan ba yung palay? And the thing is, when people start using it, baka sila na mismo ang maghanap nito at mag-cultivate, no? And then also, it's for us to support local experts and the training of apprentices, no? Minsan, tayo ay nagiging cheap din tayo whenever we buy things, no? Minsan, ay, mahal naman, no? Parang nalilimutan nyo yung value nito, no? It's not just what you see. It's more than that, okay? Let us support our local experts and the trainings of their apprentices. This is a lot, I guess, no? This is not super, it may not be so easy for others, but for some it is. But how do we begin? Look for the local resources, the material, the knowledge, normally which belongs to the elders, other sentimental people, because they're the ones you can work with, and they will be the ones who will be very happy to do it for you. And of course, maybe books, because we might not find elders anymore, no? I mean, we are losing them by the day. And what else? You rediscover the ingredients for yourself. Experience them. Be intimate with them. It is not enough that we know the percent titratable acidity needed for vinegar. No, pag binigyan kita ng suka ngayon, masasabi mo ba kung totoo yan o hindi? Kapag inamoy mo or whatsoever, I mean, we can only get reconnected with food if we are intimate with it, if we experiment with it, if we use it. So there we have it. This is the sentimental route that I am espousing to help with our interventions in nutrition. This sentimental route capitalizes on memories embedded in our food system, or even the creation of memories to allow our reattachment to the elements of our food system, not only to promote biocultural diversity, but also to help with our nutrition. Let me end with this slide. In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand. We will understand what we are taught. By Baba Diom of Senegalese forest engineer. Are we in love with our food? Maybe with some we are, but maybe not with others. That's why we're losing them. Let us fall in love with food all over. And it might just help us solve our big problems. Thank you so much for listening.
Wow, that was a very engaging and sentimental journey. I, I remember my grandma also with the bati of the cacao seeds. And so, thank you very much, Miss Melanie. We'd like to see you more often and miss you. Okay, thank you.